Hello everyone, and welcome to the annual I Make Videos video. I normally do this every year on the anniversary of my first real video, so like February 5th, but I figured an update would be more relevant after I was done with the Mega Man X videos, so we're doing this a bit late this year. I've thought about how I want to do this update a few different times because I think it's a pretty important one. And looking at my notes, this is probably going to be my longest channel update yet, because I just have a lot that I want to talk about this time. Hopefully it doesn't feel too rambly. No idea how long this is even gonna be. Let's just get it out of the way. I'm not quitting. Shocking, seeing as I've been doing this for like 8 years now. And I'll still be doing it for a while, because I'm insane. That's the only explanation I can think of as to why I'm still doing this. I've seen a lot of small YouTubers come and go over the years, usually with higher view counts than me. Not really calling out anyone specific. They probably just want to be left alone, but yeah, you know how it is. So it's kind of weird to be that guy that's still doing it despite everything. I've actually considered quitting YouTube multiple times, but every time I've seriously thought about it, I just come to the same conclusion that if I'm still enjoying this, why should I stop completely? Look, YouTube isn't working out. When you do this for 8 years with so few subscribers, you just have to admit that it's not going anywhere. I'm grateful for the 1,000 or so subscribers that I do have, but in the grand scheme of things, I failed. So I've decided to embrace it. Now it's time for the fun part. Who cares about how many views something gets? Let's just make good shit and see what happens. I won't make anything that doesn't abide by this philosophy from now on. I've just accepted that I've failed, so let's just keep going and see what happens. But with all that said, I do have to spend less time on YouTube. Not necessarily less effort. Stuff is still coming, but it'll probably just take longer. So, what am I gonna do with all the extra time I spend not making YouTube videos? Well, in the games I played in 2024, I said that I finally wanted to do something with my life. So, I'm making a video game. Don't get your hopes up. It's not gonna be anything extravagant. At least probably not. Scope creep is a real bitch. It's an auto shooter slash vampire survivors like. I don't know what the name of this genre is. The idea of this is that you're playing as a wizard fighting off an alien invasion. And if that premise doesn't sound awesome to you, we wouldn't get along. To be honest, I'm kind of making it as like a critique of the genre. I like the basic gameplay of a lot of them, but I think there's a lot of room for improvement, mainly with the progression system. My idea right now is to just steal Bellatro's progression, where the only way to get stronger is to spend money, and you're basically fishing for the right equipment synergies. Basically, this game will be like some weird fusion between Brotato and Bellatro. The game is still really early in development, doesn't even have a name yet, so I can't promise when or if this game will come out, but I actually do want to make it, which I think counts for a lot. And this one feels different. I've made game prototypes before, but I usually lose interest after a few weeks. I just keep thinking about what I want to do with this one, even after working on it on and off for a few months. This feels like something that I can actually do. I just need the time. So YouTube's gonna take a backseat. This is gonna be something I do on the side for fun from now on, which was kind of what it was before, but more so now. So I'll be taking about 2 months off from making main channel videos so I can work on the game. Now, that's not to say I won't be doing anything YouTube related during that time. I'll still be streaming for one. I used to stream on Twitch, but I'll be streaming on YouTube for the foreseeable future instead. I haven't been streaming on YouTube for long, but it's already been way more fun than Twitch ever was. I got used to just talking to myself and only occasionally seeing someone in chat, but people are actually showing up pretty much every stream now. Especially when I played Super Mario Eclipse, which is like this Mario Sunshine expansion mod ROM hack thing. Like, I don't know what it is about that game that just summons people. The people yearn for Super Mario Sunshine. The stream archive isn't going anywhere. I'm still dubbing the streams over there in higher quality. I don't know how long to keep the VODs public for. They'll be public on that stream archive forever, obviously. But, you know, on the main channel, I'm not sure how long before I just make that unlisted. You can still watch the raw stream through, like, the live playlist. Don't know why you would want to, but if you do, for whatever reason, it's still there, technically. But the stream archive is there for the long term. I'm also still going to be making videos for the side channel, Evil Flame Guy 21. They take less effort on purpose. There's no real schedule for that channel, I just make them when I feel like it. I still have a few ideas, so I can chip away at it here and there. I'll talk about the other channel later. So yeah, that was pretty much just the state of the channel. That's all you were wondering about. You don't have to watch the rest of this. Now I'm pretty much just talking about stuff I did and like how I improved stuff like that. This is being added later because I forgot to mention this. This video is extremely organized. Anyway. So when I actually get back to this, let's talk about how the video production quality is going to be better in the future. First thing is 60 FPS videos. Probably. Look, I'm just going to rant about this for a bit because it was so much harder than it really should have been. The main reason why I never did it before was because my computer couldn't handle it. You know, I had to try my best, but it was all choppy and gross, and 30 FPS just looked better. But I upgraded my computer back in like February, so it obviously can now. Recording took up like 20% GPU utilization. on the old one. But on the new one, it takes up like 2 at most. Like when I was streaming to YouTube for a bit, recording and streaming Pikmin 3 at the same time took up 50% utilization. There was like one stream I did of that with like the exact same settings, but on like the new hardware. And doing the same task took up 2%. So yeah, obviously it can handle it now. I went from a Ryzen 5 2600X and a Radeon RX 580 to a Ryzen 7 5700X and a Radeon 7700 XT. And for the majority of people that have no idea what any of this means, it's like I went from an Xbox One X to a PS5 Pro, more or less. I am the only person alive who has never had an NVIDIA GPU, and looking at prices, I'm not about to start now. I got this thing before the new GPUs came out because I figured that the new ones probably aren't going to be a big enough upgrade over what's already available. And I actually kind of dodged a bullet because none of these things are available for MSRP. Even the one I have now, it was about like 410 bucks when I got it, which is about what it's supposed to be. But then I looked at it like 2 weeks later out of curiosity and was $480 instead. Like, this thing isn't even a popular card. Like, what is happening? I was actually gonna buy an ARC B580, but the fun fact, you still can't buy one for MSRP, and it's been out for almost 5 months. It's supposed to be $250, but the cheapest one I've been able to find is like maybe $350. Like, what is going on? Anyway, the one I have now is more or less an RTX 4060 Ti with 12 gigs of memory instead of 8. And like, it's pretty crazy that this thing is nowhere near the best GPU I could buy because it's kind of a monster. I can play Sonic Unleashed at 1440p 120 FPS. How can technology possibly get any better from here? But yeah, I can record games at 60 FPS now. And they don't even take up that much more space than 30 FPS footage, which I was really surprised to learn. And like, this actually took like a surprising amount of messing around with OBS to get a smooth recording. Like, this really shouldn't have been this difficult. The big thing was that instead of recording at 60 FPS, I record at 59.94 FPS. Like, just doing that made it look way smoother. And it's insane to me that it works that well, because I didn't find a single guide or forum post or anything that even mentions trying this. And like, I was even trying to mess around with like the general settings, just like, you know what, I'm changing settings to make this work. I might as well figure out what the good settings are. You want to know what the funniest part about all that is? In the end, the best results have been the same settings I've been using for years, except I changed the keyframe interval to 0 instead of 2. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Although, sometimes instead of like variable bitrate, I use like CQP or whatever it's called. I'll put it on screen, and I put that at like 27. Most of the time this should work, usually, but then every now and then there's a game that like takes up way more space than 15 megabytes per second, so that's gonna take up way too much space, and I don't like that. Anyway, I'll put my OBS settings on screen right now. I use like 1 of 2 different settings, depending on the situation. Hopefully no one else has to go through what I did to make this work. Like, again, recording at 60 FPS only uses like 2% GPU utilization at worst. It shouldn't have been this difficult. And honestly, the recordings might not even come out 100% perfect even after all this, but at this point, I don't really care. 98% of the way there is good enough for me. I also learned how to equalize my voiceover to make it sound better. And like, it's actually a lot easier than you'd expect it to be. And you know what, right now, here's just the raw voiceover that isn't like being equalized. It sounds like way worse, right? Like, on its own, it's good enough, but compared to the quality that you've been listening to, it obviously sounds completely garbage by comparison. Like, just straight up unlistenable. I'm not gonna go into how to do it. It would probably just take too long. Maybe look up like YouTube tutorials on like how to equalize your voice. There is no magic settings for everyone. Everyone's voice is different. But you know, like, once you know what to look for, it's actually a lot easier than it sounds. Like, it's pretty much just like hiding the bad parts of your voice and like emphasizing the good parts of your voice to just make it sound clearer and better. And to be honest, I probably won't get a better mic like ever at this point. Like, if I can make my voice sound this good with a Shure SM58, why would I need the big boy Shure that costs like $400? Like, this one is only $100 with a cheapy $40 Behringer XLR interface. Like, I mean, why would I need anything more than this? I was actually disappointed when I didn't get any comments saying like, oh, did you get a new mic? Hopefully someone noticed and they just didn't say anything, but you know, who knows? Also, I should probably get around to subtitling more old videos. I've really improved my workflow on those. No more AI. Until recently, I was using like this thing called whisper.cpp, which is like this like terminal app thing that like spits out like subtitles by like analyzing like the sound file that you shove into it. Makes a lot of mistakes, but at least saves you a lot of time typing so that you can like manually edit it. Now I use a Python script to chop up the video scripts into individual sentences. Then YouTube can line up the sentences of the audio and I can manually edit it from there. In a worst case scenario where YouTube doesn't want to sync the text to the audio, I can just manually copy paste the text into Resolve and make the subtitles that way. I had to do this for the X8 video because of reasons beyond my understanding. It just didn't want to work this time. I don't know why. Thanks, YouTube. It's slower than YouTube doing it for me, but it's still faster than the AI method, so good enough. I save a lot of time doing this. It's kind of unreal. I'll at least put it on screen right now. I'm not going to give you any technical support on how to use this, but, you know, like, this is a Python script. It's pretty basic. It should probably work with, like, basically any version of Python. It's maybe only, like, 40 lines of code. It's not even that long. This was made by ChatGPT and edited by me, but that's mainly because I was lazy, not because I couldn't do it myself. So the aesthetics of the channel got a bit of a makeover. First off, I had to, like, completely redid a bunch of thumbnails. I don't know, like, the style I was using before, I just didn't really like anymore. I don't know, it just kind of felt like there was, like, way too much wasted space. Like, we just kind of come to the point where, like, you can just look at this and just kind of tell that this is a review. I don't really need to, like, put it in the thumbnail. Just kind of seems redundant. And, you know, I figure that, like, having some kind of key art with, like, the logo next to it is good. Like, sometimes just use, like, the key art, but, like, sometimes use, like, a character or, like, some kind of, like, official art from the game. Depends on the game. Sometimes they have, like, really good box art. Sometimes they don't. Depends. You know, like, I mean, this kind of thing does look good, but I don't know, like, it feels a little lazy, and it doesn't feel like I actually made anything, you know? I briefly had this kind of color correction to make everything more of a magenta color, but the main character unchanged. It does look cool, but, like, when we're redoing old thumbnails in the same style, it looked bad in, like, a lot of cases, no matter what color I picked. Like, I remember, like, the AM2R thumbnail. Like, it would have just been a giant sea of, like, magenta because, like, the background is, like, mostly one color. No matter what I did to it, it just looked bad. But then I had the idea to put color gradients over them instead. And, like, it looked kind of bad with, like, the standard kind of borders I had for videos, which is why I didn't initially do this. It actually looked really good when I changed up the colors. So, like, now all the colors and stuff, like, they don't have to be, like, red or blue or anything. They can just be whatever I feel like fits. I was trying to figure out, like, a new aesthetic for the channel. What I had before felt kind of boring, but then I realized that I didn't need a new aesthetic. I just needed to use my aesthetic better. Because, like, color gradients are, like, everywhere. And, like, you probably don't even notice it. All my rules for everything that I had before was, like, really arbitrary. Like, why do I need to differentiate the videos between blue and red when you can tell what kind of video it is just from looking at it? Thing is, I actually did kind of like that. It's just that, like, in practice, it doesn't really make any sense. Like, you know, obviously, this video about Mega Man X4 is a review of Mega Man X4, probably. But this video about the Game Awards is probably a video essay. Like, it's just kind of self-explanatory, you know? I also kind of just removed review from, like, a lot of the videos just because, for whatever reason, it seems like people are more likely to watch a video that doesn't say review. They just see, oh, video about Mega Man X4. And, like, they're more likely to just watch a video about that instead of a review, even if the two videos are literally exactly the same. Like, I don't know. It's like one of those weird psychology things, but you probably know what I mean. I like these two things with, like, the thumbnails and, like, the titles and stuff. It also lets me blur the line between review and video essay if I feel it's necessary. The idea I had to redo the Celeste review when I eventually make that, probably one day, is to have it be like half review, half video essay about life and overcoming depression, because that's literally what the game's about. Maybe call it something like I was too young to understand Celeste or something. I don't know, I feel like it'll be a good video when I make it one day, probably. Don't expect it though. For like a lot of this stuff, I basically just said, hey, what if I had 100,000 subscribers? What would that look like? Dress for the job you want, not for the job you have, right? I've actually wanted to change, like, the border backgrounds for a long time, but I had no idea what to change it to. Because, you know, obviously I needed a different aesthetic first. You know, I could just have nothing, but for my own personal taste with this, just doesn't feel right. I don't know why. Like, I totally get why, like, some people, like, don't put anything there, or, like, even just have the video be 4:3. Like, you know, that's cool. That's just not what I want, personally, for these videos. Can't really describe why. Just feels right to have something there, you know? My first thought was to have what I call the video essay effect, where you just zoom in on the footage and apply a Gaussian blur. I can guarantee you've seen this before, if you're this deep down in the YouTube rabbit hole. You know, it looks good, but it's kind of boring. It's a bit overdone. But then I had the genius idea to overlay the old borders I had before, and it suddenly looked totally unique. I was already getting rid of the color coordination thing I had going on that I was already really inconsistent about, so I figured I can just go crazy with the gradient colors, you know? The effect looks good with pretty much any color gradient, so, you know, just go crazy with it. Just do whatever. I don't know, it just looks really good. I don't see anyone else doing any kind of similar effect. And like, it's not even that hard to do. I literally just have like a color gradient image, and then I adjust the transparency, boom. Now it looks cool. Later on, I also added a little vignette to it just to make it look a little nicer. Maybe you noticed it, maybe you didn't. I still want to change the channel icon though. I have no idea what to change it to still. I said the same thing last year. The logo I'm probably gonna update too. Probably just gonna use Fire Sans for it, which is what I use for everything else on the channel. I use this like random font I found called F. I don't know, it looked cool, like who knows how long ago it was, but I don't know, I think it served its purpose. It just feels a little out of place now. Maybe the new one will look something like this. Probably still gonna have to tweak it a little bit. Not too sure about it. But this is more or less the branding that I'm using for the foreseeable future. You know, I might still improve some things here and there, but pretty happy with this style overall. Still kind of retains that like homemade look to it, but you know, still looks good. Looks nice. Alright, so let's look at what I did over the last year. We can just get the elephant out of the way first. Why did 3D platformers die blew up by my standards? Got to about 12,000 views. And to be honest, the video was clickbait on purpose. So I kind of expected it to do well by my standards, but I figured it would get like 5,000 views at most. Like, the video was basically made for the people like, oh man, 3D platformers are dead, where's Crash and Spyro? And expose them to all the games they're not playing. It was really funny reading the comments, seeing all the people who didn't watch the video. Like, oh, actually, they're not dead, here's all the games that you should be playing, and then I mentioned like half of them in the video. I probably could make more videos like this. Maybe I've like tapped into some 3D platformer market. I don't know. I did not make another video like this, even like adjacent to this topic even, because I don't know, I really care about them that much. I mean, hey, I love platformers, but they are not games that I can talk about all the time. I have other interests, like Digimon. No, I'm not making a Digimon video, but like, that's just what came in my head. I've been Digimon brain rotted recently. Don't know why. There's not really a ton to say about this video beyond, yeah, that was a good video. I am proud of this. This is good. Enjoyable even. Like, it was just kind of nice having something that people actually watched for once, you know? And people seem to like it too. A lot of people were surprised by it, just how many random games they never heard of were featured in the video in some way. Like that part where I'm just like listing off like my brother in Christ, have you played this game or this game or this game? Like, dude, I wanted to get that out of my system for so long. Like, people who say 3D platformers are dead, this video was made for you. I will convince you with facts and logic about why you're completely wrong. Some comments were actually surprised I didn't talk about Astrobot. The video was actually written before Astrobot was even announced. And like, one of the things at the end were like, will these come back? Who knows? Astrobot was actually one of the things I mentioned, and then I had to remove it from the script, and then I just kind of mentioned it through text in the video instead. Anyway, play Astrobot, assuming you have a PS5. If you don't, I don't blame you. It's got Astrobot though, so it was worth it. Also, the guy who made Pseudo Regalia has at least seen the thumbnail of this video, which is wild to think about. I'll find the tweet he made about this if it kills me. I need proof. I need to tell you all about this. Like, what do you mean he's seen the thumbnail of the video? What? It's like when one of the developers of like the AM2R community updates saw my AM2R review. Not Milton Gossi, like one of the guys who made like the community update mod things. Still, that's crazy. Like, what do you mean you saw this? Huh? Now, I have no idea if the Pseudo Regalia guy actually watched this video, but the fact that he found the video at all is just crazy to me. Alright, so Metroid Dread. I keep forgetting that I made this video. Like, working on this thing was just one giant blur. It's like I blacked out and suddenly I'm talking about Metroid again for way too long. With how many comments I had asking where the Dread video was, which I mean, honestly, it's not really that many, but there were at least a few. I just thought it would be funny if I released it one day without any build-up or warning. Like, oh, hey, Metroid. Isn't that fun? Although I was kind of annoyed by how relatively little views it got compared to my other Metroid videos. Seems like more people watched this video through the supercut than the original standalone video. So, whatever. Who cares? If you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. Whatever. I was actually gonna make the Metroid supercut back when I first made the videos, but I don't know, it just felt weird not having Metroid Dread because I couldn't have the clickbait title of reviewing every 2D Metroid game. But now I can instead have the much funnier title of a brief 2D Metroid retrospective. And it's like almost 3 hours long. Probably doing that with Mega Man X too. Also, rendering this video was a pain in the ass. Like, I don't know what it is about Resolve, because like apparently it has like issues like rendering to H.264. And I render to H.265 now when I found that out. The first one I did that with was the Jet Set Radio Future review. There was like some kind of like rendering problem with that. I'm just like, okay, how do I fix this? This is driving me insane. Sometimes it'll cut to black and there's like a few pixels left on screen. I'll show you when it happens in my Jet Set Radio review, because this is the thing that made me actually want to fix it, because just like, this is ridiculous. Why is this happening? What are you doing? So yeah, if your user resolve rendered H.265, basically. So yeah, there was just a bunch of weird rendering issues on this thing because I was using like the raw videos to make the supercut, because I don't have the project files anymore because it had been like 3 years ago. On the bright side, now I know to just re-encode old videos before you import them. Hopefully this won't happen again, but who knows. Basically what I ended up doing, I had to render it in like some weird format. I don't remember what it was. It was like Cineform Max Pro or something. I do not remember. And then I had to use Handbrake to re-encode it to H.264 instead. And like, I think that I eventually had to do low settings for like the Cineform thing or whatever, because their version of high quality and my version of high quality are two very different things. High for them is lossless. Low quality is high quality for me. So yeah, I don't know, it was a pain in the ass. I'm not doing it again. I still have all the Mega Man X project files, so hopefully this won't be a problem this time. I don't have much to say about the games I played in 2024. Like, just when he thought these videos couldn't get any longer, it gets longer. I don't know how it got to be this long. I really don't. I don't remember playing this many games. I don't know, I think that I just had a lot more to say about each individual game, combined with the fact that there are a lot of them. Hopefully the next one is a lot shorter. Hopefully. I mean, at least as of right now, the next one's gonna be mostly old games. This year, I've only played, like, 2 new games. Play Blueprints and Expedition 33. They were both very peak. Mega Man X4 through X8. Like, look, man, I'm just so glad to be done with Mega Man X. These videos took a lot out of me. I felt that some of them just felt kind of samey, so I actually put a lot more effort into the last 3. I don't know, like X2, X3, and X5, it just kind of felt like I was going through the motions. So for X6 through X8, I just thought, you know what? Let's try and make this more interesting. Now, I ended up coming up with a new writing process where I just rant to myself through bullet points until I have enough talking points to organize them into sections, and it made the videos a lot easier to write. And because I had like a very detailed outline, I also knew where it was going. I wasn't just like writing it as I went along anymore. I don't know, like it led to more interesting videos, I think. Probably the weirdest part about this was how I actually ended up liking X7. Going into X6, I knew I wasn't gonna like it. Shocking. You know, I was surprised that I ended up not hating it. I just felt nothing playing it. It's like, I don't care about this game. I really don't. This game hasn't hurt me. I put myself through this. But like with X7, like, it's a bad game, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I just thought that it was simply mediocre. It's not one of the worst games I've ever played. Nowhere near one of the worst games I've ever played. It's fine, I guess. Which is probably why I actually enjoyed it. Like, you know, obviously, again, it's not a good game, but a game does not need to be good to be enjoyable. I know, I was actually kind of surprised by just how exaggerated a lot of the issues people had with the game were. You know, not to say that like anyone has like a wrong opinion or anything. If you don't like this game, I completely understand. That is a fair and valid opinion. But I don't know. I did actually end up watching like a few other YouTube videos just to see other people talk about it. Like, you know, like no shade to any of these people, because to be honest, they've probably all moved on. This is just me after watching like some of these videos. Like with some Common John, I was like, wow, he really did not talk about the game at all. Huh, that's interesting. And, you know, I watched Pro Jared for like the first time in like 6 years, I think. I don't remember the last time I even watched him. Probably around that like whole cheating on his wife thing. Now, you know, I probably could have made a joke about that in the video. Just like, hey, isn't this guy a war criminal now? But, you know, like, I mean, you know, like, I didn't want to, like, throw any, like, unnecessary hate toward him or anything. Dude's been through a lot, to say the least. But yeah, anyway, I hadn't really watched a video of his in, like, 7 years. So that was a weird experience. And, you know, like, a lot of, like, old YouTube punching bags were kind of like that, where, for some reason, people just made shit up and everyone just believed them. I know I'm not saying that, like, for X7 specifically, people made shit up, but here's a really good example. Like, apparently the, like, awkward laughing scene in Final Fantasy X, where T just is like, ah, ha, 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 ha. You have probably seen it. This was actually supposed to be awkward and weird. Like, it's even in that in Japanese. I learned about this recently, and it just blew my mind. Like, what? Did these people even play the game? I should probably play Final Fantasy X at some point. I should probably play a lot of Final Fantasies at some point. They're probably good. Alright, so, the side channel. Evil Flame Guy 21. The main reason why I made a second channel was to just make more stuff. I just wanted a place where I can just dump more casual videos that take less effort. I was actually kind of like jealous of channels that just like go in front of a microphone, just start talking about whatever. It's like, I don't know, just like, man, just being able to say something on here without really using that much effort. God, that sounds nice. And then one day I just thought, wait a minute, why can't I do that? So the entire premise of Evil Flame Guy 21 is to just do the opposite of what I've been doing, see what happens. Sometimes it's unscripted with a decent amount of notes, but I've definitely leaned into a mostly scripted style with less editing. Probably just because that's what I think makes for something more interesting to watch. I don't know, it's hard for me to just ramble with little to no prep work. I'm just not that kind of person. Like, if I write stuff down first, I can do it, but just completely off the cuff, like, hey, I'm going to rant about Gex. No, I can't do that. I've never played Gex, so I definitely can't do that. Just to put this into perspective, I have almost 5,000 words of notes for this update. So, yeah, that is how little confidence I have in myself to just rant about something. Just ramble on, just yap. This channel is probably why this update video sounds a lot less awkward than last year's. I definitely like doing both kinds of videos for this channel, but I'm thinking I might lean more toward unscripted with a lot of notes just because it takes less effort. It just depends on what I think would fit a topic better. Like, I can definitely ramble about Pokemon that I keep forgetting exist, but if I want to complain about modern game graphics, I gotta do that right, you know? And you know, like, this side channel also let me iterate on like the video making process a lot more. It also led to me improving the main channel a bit, like improving like the voiceover audio quality and just figuring out a better writing process. I used to be pretty slow about it, and you know, honestly, I'm still a bit slow about it, but at least it's a lot easier now. I'm not just like sitting there being like, where is this video even going? Guess I gotta figure it out. Again, just ranting to myself about the thing that I'm talking about until I eventually have something that feels coherent. I'm also gonna dump anything that I would consider filler over there as well. You know, stuff like stream highlights and reactions. The only exception is like channel updates like this, and maybe April Fool's videos if I'm ever feeling deranged enough to make another one of those. That meme assassin guy is still in cryostasis. He's not coming out for a while. Evil Flame Guy has been a really fun time, and it lets me talk about random stuff I can never figure out how to turn into an actual video. It's just a place I feel I can talk about whatever I want, because everything takes so little effort that it doesn't matter how the video does. If it does well, great. But if it doesn't, and it gets only like 2 views, well, I only spent like a day on this, so whatever. Like, I know I don't actually care about the views, but obviously a bigger number is better. Like, I'm definitely gonna be doing more stuff on there in the future. But again, no real schedule for it, just it happens when it happens. But some of the stuff I did on there is pretty fun to look back on already. I'm not gonna go over everything I made for this channel, just the highlights. Looking through my cringe Miiverse post was a real trip. I never realized how much I posted about Fire Emblem back then. I don't know, man. I was a different person at like 16. God, I'm so glad that I didn't touch real social media until I was like 19. Everything I did that was really cringe has just disappeared into the ether. Good. Metroidvanias to play while we wait for Silksong was the inspiration for this channel. So I have a philosophy over there, where I think about the title and thumbnail before I even consider making it into an actual video. I just kind of strive to make the thing where you look at this and think, oh my god, how is this real? Like, you know, a theoretical video that I don't even have the ability to make, mathematically figure out how long it would take to touch grass in every Metroid game, I don't know. Does Metroid even have grass? This is a legitimate question, I've never thought about this. There's grass in Metroid Prime, I know that much. Rambling about random Metroidvanias you should play was pretty fun to sit down and talk about. Editing this video specifically was a pain in the ass though. It only took like 3 days, but when most of these only take a day to edit at most, it was really annoying and dumb. While I was making this video, I was waiting for some kind of divine intervention where Silksong just shadow dropped like the day before it went up, or like the day after even. Like, you know, obviously, I was extremely naive for hoping for that, but it would have been so funny. Metroidvanias to play while we wait for Silksong. Bro, Silksong's out. Just play it. Don't play these. Maybe I could have like leaned into it, just make a follow-up video. Metroidvanias to play while we wait for Silksong 2. One of every Pokemon versus a billion lions is the most viewed channel on Evil Flame Guy. And like, if it was anything, I'm glad it's this. Like, it's just a fun video I never felt like making into a main channel video, because like, it's such a stupid topic. Like, why would I make a serious video about this? Like, you know, obviously I'm right, but, you know, I have to be civil on here. I don't have to be civil on the other channel. I can do whatever I want over there. I can say the F word if I want to, when it doesn't involve Magalore. And like, for that video, there's just something funny to me about copy-pasting the exact same line image a billion times. I don't know, man, just fun video. And if you disagree with me, you're wrong. Pointing and laughing at Concord wasn't anything special, but ranting about something failing so impressively hard was just fun. Like, I'm still processing how much Concord failed. Like, the game sold 25,000 copies. 25000. Wii U exclusives outsold this thing 4 times over. That's how poorly the game did. In 11 days. Look, man, I have no idea how my theoretical finished game will do. My ultimate goal is to outsell Concord. If it outsells Concord, I'm happy. Complaining about the PS5 Pro was probably the most disliked video on the channel, and I don't understand how. Looking in the comments for that video, I felt like I woke up in a parallel universe and summoned, like, the 2 people who bought a PS5 Pro. Like, literally the only 2 people. Like, I didn't say anything weird or controversial. I had, like, the coldest take possible. It's pointless, because there's only, like, 2 games that are noticeably improved. And people didn't like it, I guess. They hated me because I spoke the truth. Like, I don't know what it is about this video. I really don't. Like, what, huh? I'm still processing how this happened. Like, it was even more surreal seeing, like, a Moist Critical video around the same time, and, like, dude was saying more or less the same things I was saying, but everyone agreed with him instead. I don't know what happened. I'm still laughing at it, honestly. I did get a bit of flack from the "We're in the Golden Age of Gaming" video, which may sound weird, and I probably could have worded stuff better. The main point I was trying to make there was that we're simultaneously living in an age where AAA games suck, but also there's so many games to play that you can't possibly play them all. You don't have to play something that you don't want to. You don't even need to play something that came out recently. Play what you want to play. You'll probably be a lot happier. I still agree with what I said in it, but again, probably should have worded it better. I was bound to screw up somewhere. Modern game graphics is definitely the best video on the side channel, because this thing is basically just a main channel video with less editing. People love complaining about how games are starting to look too good, to the point where they run like total ass, and how graphics technology is starting to plateau. Everything else on the channel is kind of a take it or leave it, at least I had fun making it kind of deal. But I actually really like how this one turned out. You know, like, it's a good video, you know? I also had the crazy idea to re-upload the Pikmin stream highlights over there, and I got like 4 times the views that I got on the main channel. Like, I put it on the main channel at first because that's where stuff like this always was. I didn't really think about it. Then after I only got like 50 views, I realized that I don't have to make filler videos anymore. I have an entire filler channel. I still do want to make stream highlights in the future because I think they're pretty fun. But yeah, they're definitely going on Evil Flame Guy from now on. You know, probably the craziest part about this side channel is that it only has like 60 subscribers, but it somehow gets more views than a lot of the main channel videos. Like, you know, I could be annoyed about that. Like, bruh, I only spent like a day on this, and I got like 1,000 views. But at least people are enjoying it, so can't complain too much. This stuff is definitely a lot lower effort, because that's the point. But I try to keep it a bit shorter to keep it from being, you know, slop. Because, like, even if it is low effort, I still want to keep some kind of standard. Like, I'm not just gonna rant about nothing for, like, 2 hours, you know? Like, oh, you know, how about that, GTA 6 trailer? Man, I didn't watch it. Why would I ever watch it? I don't know, like, I'm not gonna do anything like that. And, you know, they may be a bit more, like, clickbaity, but I'm never gonna outright lie about what the video is about, or, like, not actually say what the video is about. I'm not gonna be like, oh, this Metroidvania goes crazy. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I would actually put in the video what the video was actually about. I'm not gonna go that far. But, like, even if the stuff on there is lower effort, I still want to make stuff that's worth watching, because the last thing I want to be is a waste of time. So here's the plan going forward. Before my break, I'm gonna do a video on the side channel about my complicated feelings towards Switch 2. Just gonna leave you in suspense about the contents of that content. By the time this video goes up, it might already be out. If not, hopefully shortly after this. And by shortly after, I mean within the next few days. 2 weeks from when this update goes live is when the Mega Man X Supercut comes out. Since I still have the source files of the individual videos, I updated all the assets to use the new style, like X6 through X8. I also cleaned up the voiceover to sound better. I was using FL Studio to do the equalization before, because like for the game, I was just like, you know, music is gonna be something that I'm gonna have to do at some point. Could I do it myself? I wonder. How hard could it be? And then like, after a few weeks, I'm just like, wait a minute, am I actually good at this? Huh? And then maybe after like 2 months of going down this rabbit hole, here I am buying FL Studio for like 180 bucks. It's a lot cheaper than you'd expect. But anyway, like, it's just like, I have professional grade audio software. I might as well use the professional grade audio software. So I was using FL Studio to like equalize everything, but I figured that I could just be lazy, do it in Resolve for this, so I wouldn't have to like re-export a bunch of old recordings. Like, I mean, I could have done it, it would have just been annoying. And I don't know what I did, but I figured out how to make everything sound better in Resolve. So then I accidentally made the audio for X6 and X7 a little better. Like, it's a lot more subtle than X1 through 5, but they do sound a little better. Don't know how that happened, but whatever. The X8 audio might sound a little different too, just to be a little more consistent with the other ones. The Supercut is pretty much done already. I just need to finish the audio mixing and tweak a few things here and there. I don't know, the audio for X2 just sounds weird. I don't know what's going on with it, but I'll figure it out. The X4 audio was also a little weird, but it was a pretty easy fix. I already figured it out. So yeah, this should be the definitive place to watch all these in one package. It's almost 3 hours long. Very brief indeed. So once I get through all those, I actually take my break. And by take my break, I mean completely overdose on game dev for like 2 months, but whatever. So after about 2 months of that, I'm doing Pokemon Emerald like immediately. And to be honest, the next who knows how long is basically just gonna be alternating between Pokemon and Zelda. The main problem with this channel is that I haven't done enough of my favorite games. I notice how many YouTubers start talking about what they like most first, and then they just end up having to redo everything later. I want to do stuff right the first time, but I'm definitely way past that point. I recently rewatched some old videos from like 2019, 2020, and like, they're still good. You know, I'd reword a few jokes in my Link's Awakening video, but that's about it. Aside from my worst voice back then, I'd change maybe one joke in my Portal revisit. That's it. And with Portal 2, I wouldn't really change anything. Like, if I can go back 5 years and still think, yeah, that was a good video, then I'm obviously at the point where I can just do anything and be more or less satisfied with it. I think the problem with this approach is that you end up spending a lot of time talking about stuff you don't care about that much, which leads to a lot of samey videos. You know, like, you're just doing it to do it. Out of the 80 reviews I've made, nearly a fourth of them are Mega Man, which is insane looking back on it, because I have barely thought about any of these games since I talked about them. Like, even Mega Man X, like, I haven't thought about, like, I don't know, X3 since I made the video. Like, you know, out of those, like, X1 and X4 are the only games I actually care about. I said this in the video. You know, to be honest, next time I talk about Mega Man, I'm probably just going straight to Battle Network. Play Mega Man Battle Network. This is not optional. I like those games so much more than the rest of the Mega Man games. Also, Star Force. Star Force is also extremely good. Play Mega Man Star Force. This is not optional. So, ultimately, for the foreseeable future, I'm just talking about peak on this channel, with very few exceptions. Pokemon and Zelda is going to be the main thing I'm going to be talking about for a while. Gen 3 is going to be 4 videos. Emerald, obviously. A video about the Sevi Islands, Coliseum, and XD. Barely anyone talks about the Sevi Islands. And I don't even remember the last time I played through this section of the game. So I think it would make for an interesting video. It was the one aspect of Fire Red and Leaf Green that I never got to talk about in the Red and Blue video. I'll probably call it something like the forgotten post-game of Fire Red and Leaf Green. It's probably only going to be like 10 minutes, but hey, it'd be fun, you know? Also, I think someone made a 40-minute video about this, so might be a bit late on that, but whatever. I'm doing it anyway. We don't care about views on this channel anymore. We just make good shit and see what happens. Coliseum and XC are a lot more self-explanatory. I've already done these games, but those videos are not good. I've only ever actually redone a video like once, and it was like 5 years ago. I actually did want to like redo more videos, but I just never got around to it. The old XD video is mostly fine, but it was the longest video I made up to that point, so it was kind of all over the place and I jumped around with topics a lot. I also messed up a lot of lines and never went back and redid lines, so it was really hard to listen to, on top of also having a bad voice back then. I don't know, very unlistenable video. I think I'll also do a supercut of the Pokemon series up to this point. I'll probably call it like the Game Boy era of Pokemon, or like a brief Pokemon retrospective, the Game Boy era. Sounds catchy, I guess. Hopefully I can get to platinum soon-ish after XD. That's all I've really planned for right now. The Emerald video is gonna be like 40 minutes, absolute bare minimum. I don't actually know yet. I haven't started on it. I haven't even started replaying Emerald. It's my favorite game, so I'm legally required to go hard on this. The first two Zelda games might be a bit of a slog to get through. They're really cryptic and not fun, which is why I've never sat down to play them. But people seem to like watching others suffer, so it should make for a good time on your end. I also already did a Link to the Past, but it was also pretty meh. I have no recollection of making that video. I really don't. It was in like 2017. I don't know. I didn't really talk about the game that much, if I'm being honest. That was 8 years ago. Obviously gone a lot better since then. But for Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, I'm probably playing the PC ports. In the past, I only used official releases, unless I had to emulate them, like with Pokemon or Jet Set Radio Future. But some fan mods and ports have gotten so good that they're better than the official releases. So like, why not take advantage of that for better looking footage? I'll try my best to replicate the original game. I'm probably not even turning on the analog camera for Ocarina of Time. But for like Majora's Mask's case, the 3DS version had a controllable camera on new 3DS. So yeah, I'll enable it on the original-ish. It's a change that they themselves said, yes, this is a good change, let's put it in. I'm also definitely using the mod for Majora's Mask Recompiled that makes the Song of Double Time work like it does in the remake. Like, that is the only port of Majora's Mask 3D that I cannot live without. Like, it completely eliminates all the waiting. Like, it doesn't come up that often, but when it does, oh, it's so good, man. It mainly just makes the Andrew Cafe quest way better. Because, like, otherwise, you're just waiting around a lot, and it's annoying. But then you have this, and you just skip past all the waiting. It's beautiful. And, like, it was in the remake, so it's a change they deemed good, you know? I definitely do have some other stuff in mind that I want to do, but at this point, who knows when I'll get to it. I mainly just want to focus on Pokemon and Zelda for right now. The update video usually ends here, but I thought it'd be fun to add a Q&A section. I sent out a post for this on the YouTube community tab in Blue Sky, so keep an eye on those if you want to ask a question next year. Also, no one responded to the Blue Sky post, which is extremely funny. Let's hope this doesn't extend the video by too much. I only have like 4 questions, so probably not. Yanma the Samurai asks, if you had to give a short version of your review process, how do you go about it? And have you ever encountered writer's block? To be honest, I've actually kind of wanted to make a video about how I make videos for like a while. Because to be honest, this question just kind of deserves its own video. I just always think it's kind of fun when like people just kind of give you like the tools of the trade, just see how they do things. I don't know, you usually end up just learning a lot, even if you don't make like similar kind of videos. But to actually answer your question, alright, so basically, obviously, first thing I do is play the game. And like I record it while I play it, just so that like, you know, 2 things at once. And also so that I can refer to things that happened to be while I was playing the game. Like, oh man, it was so wacky when this happened. You wouldn't believe what happened. I record the entire playthrough, which, depending on the kind of game you play, may not be advised. Like if you're playing like a 80-hour long JRPG, you could do that, but you're probably gonna need another hard drive. For the games I play, that's usually what I do. I think like the only real exception I've made was like Breath of the Wild way back in the day. I only had like 15 hours of footage for it versus like the 70 hours that I played. You know, that was like the 3rd video I made. And I also just wanted to play my Switch portably. Sue me. And then like when it comes to like writing the script, I try to write down things I know I'm gonna forget about later. Like, it can just be anywhere. I can just move what I said to, like, something later. I usually just use, like, Google Keep just to, like, write down random notes that I think about, like, while I'm playing the game. Now, I usually write it down, like, after I'm done recording, and, like, I go to pop in a new recording, but it doesn't always work out. But, like, sometimes I'll pause the game just to, like, write something down, knowing I'm going to forget about this later. And I can answer the second part right now. Have I ever encountered writer's block? Yes. Everyone has. If a writer ever says, oh no, I don't get writer's block, they're lying. I don't know, like, sometimes you're just like, what do I even want to say? And, you know, recently I've figured out a very good counter to this. I just kind of, like, make, like, a giant, like, separate, like, note document thing, and then I just, like, rant to myself about the game through bullet points, and write down literally anything that I want to talk about. Anything. And then I just keep ranting to myself until, like, I have enough to, like, organize them into sections, and then I just kind of, like, keep expanding those sections until I have, like, a very detailed outline about the video I want to make, which seems to make it a lot easier to write. And then once I have the script done, I, like, record the voiceover, and then I edit down the voiceover, and then, like, add video clips on top of the voiceover to go along with what I'm saying. And then I add background music once everything's all said and done. Yeah, it's a very basic overview of it, I guess. This kind of question deserves its own video, honestly. And also, how much of your time is spent as Flame Guy versus being Guy Fieri? That's my secret cap. I'm always Guy Fieri. Robert Lupa, 8273, asks, do you have a job? If yes, what is it? How do you find motivation to keep making videos as your hobby? Okay, so this is fun. No, I don't have a job because the job market is pain and suffering. I've been trying to get a job for a while, but you know, you just apply to a bunch of places and no one ever responds to you, ever. And every now and then the one that actually does, oh no, this is a scam, actually. Oh no, we'll just hire you without an interview. And we'll give you 4 times what you asked for. Also, can you buy something for us, please? No, that's a scam. Pain. And it's really annoying, because I have a bachelor's in IT, and I've been trying to get a job in IT or programming, preferably programming, because I can comfortably use basically any language. You want to know all the stuff I know? I know JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, Java, C#, Rust, C, C++, Kotlin, HTML, CSS. I haven't really used Go much, but I can figure it out. I don't know, man. I know a lot of stuff with this, and employers don't seem to be impressed at all. And it's really annoying looking at positions that are just here's an entry-level position, but also you need 2 years of experience. Well, why do I need the 2 years of experience? I can do this right now, even though I don't have any experience technically. I could do the job right now if you gave it to me, but that no one wants to listen to me. So yeah, that's fun. If you need someone to program something for you, make a website, I'm your guy. I can do that really easily. It's not really that hard, at least not for me. How do you find motivation to keep making videos as your hobby? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. There comes a point where I just like doing it. That's pretty much all it is. That's the thing. If you're not making money off of this thing, like I am, you just kind of have to keep doing it because you like it. And that's the only reason why. And if you're not enjoying it, just stop doing it. Because at that point, why are you still doing this? That's all I really have to say about that. To be honest, I don't fully know the answer myself. Pix After Dark asks, do you purposely try and make your videos as cozy as possible, or are they just like that? I don't know, to be honest, I don't really have a specific style for these kinds of videos. They just kind of happen. I don't know, I mean, I guess they're pretty cozy. You know, I make them pretty easy to watch on purpose, so that you actually watch them. I mean, I do try to make it sound like I'm just talking, even though I'm obviously not. I'm reading from a script. I didn't really try to make it cozy or anything. It just kind of happened. Some Call Me Johnny is a pretty big inspiration for me, and his videos are very cozy, very personal kind of review videos. Maybe he just rubbed off on me, you know? If I had to describe myself, my own videos, I'd probably be the equilibrium between Some Call Me Johnny and King K, where you know, I do kind of try to find a balance between, you know, personal, opinionated kind of reviews and more analytical ones. I never really try to make them like that, just kind of happen. Although, probably not a bad thing. Ryan's Goofy asks, are you LS Mark's offspring? God, dude, it's crazy how many comments I've gotten about my voice over the years. Alright, I have probably said this on stream at some point. I definitely have. I'll just say it again here. This is the one story I have because I don't get out much. And so, yeah, I grew up with a speech impediment, and I got made fun of it a lot in school. People would just be hey, say car. See, I can say car now by some miracle that you're watching this, I can say car now. Just don't ask me to say world. I will not be able to say it. I'm sorry. I did have speech therapy when I was younger. But by 5th grade, they all just kind of gave up. I don't know what happened. I just stopped going to it because they weren't even helping anymore. So yeah, I talked very poorly for most of my life. Some kids thought I was British, which is very funny because early YouTube comments thought I was Australian. I don't think these people have ever heard British people or Australians talk, ever. I'm from Ohio. We say pop here instead of soda. I've been told that this is the wrong word to use. So yeah, one of the most unexpected things from doing this whole YouTube thing is that over time, I actually started talking a lot clearer. Because as it turns out, listening to yourself talk for hours at a time makes you a lot more self-conscious about how you talk, and that you just naturally start talking better. Who knew? I don't know. I still got comments like, "Oh man, are you LS Mark?" I think I've only seen like one video from him. He has a very weird speaking pattern. Not that I should judge at all, but still, I don't know anything about him. I got one comment on the side channel. I don't remember what video it was even on. Someone said I have a Reddit accent, and like I'm still laughing about it. How do people come up with this shit? Like, just God, dude. One girl in high school said that she wished that she could talk like me, and I'm still riding that high. Alright, I don't know how long this video was. We're done here. What else can I even say about any of this? I've been recording for like almost 2 hours. So to recap, I'm taking 2 months off the main channel videos to get my game off the ground, hopefully. Like, it's not gonna be done in 2 months. I'm not delusional, but, you know, hopefully I can get it to be into a state that resembles a video game. And after that, I'm mainly talking about Pokemon Zelda for a while. That's pretty much it. And, you know, I do appreciate how much more enthusiastic the comments have been lately. I don't know, it's just nice. Thank you. Someone on the Metroid Supercut says something like, "Give Flame Guy 1,000,000 subscribers and tons of ad revenue. My life is yours." And, like, I just think about that comment a lot. Please, YouTube, listen to that guy. Like, he's so real for saying that, man. I don't have anything else to say. I'm not going anywhere, but you probably won't see new stuff from me as often as before. Alright, I am very tired from this. I really need to pee, so it's been fun. Take care, everyone.